The last hurdle, the last element that stands in the way of enlightenment or liberation. It is actually funny to notice that this last obstacle is not different from the first obstacle we feel in life. Even before we are on the spiritual path, we are always trying to look for a certain situation, a certain life situation that makes us happier. Now we live in a society that looks outward a lot, tries to make sure that you have certain things in your life, money, wealth, products, nice experiences, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's all part of this beautiful play. So from a young age we learn to find our happiness in outside things. We look for a good education so we can get a good job and good income. We look for a certain boyfriend or girlfriend to make sure that we feel loved and less lonely. Maybe to build up a beautiful life. All sorts of things we try to achieve in order to become happy. And for some people, after achieving a lot of this or failing a lot at all of these things, we've come to the conclusion that it's not making us as happy as we thought it would make us. So we've been looking around in the world of form, playing around, and it somehow doesn't feel satisfying. So for some people, they become aware of the spiritual path and realize, oh, okay, enlightenment, liberation, that sounds really good. I'll try that. Let's go for that. So they start renunciating everything that, or not everything, or at least more and more of the outside world, the world of form, the things that they have been trying to achieve in order to find happiness, because they realize, well, it didn't make me as happy as I want to be. Or maybe the happiness was only short-lived and then a new seeking started. So they read books and they find out, oh, okay, I can calm my mind, I can meditate, I can do breathing practices, I can relax the body and become more and more aware and achieve states of happiness in another direction. Instead of going outwards into the world of form, let's go inwards into this silence, into the peace within. And for me, that second part was a quite long process where I realized that I was always holding tension in my body, that there was always this unease for actually many decades. And I did a lot of breath work, meditation, and there was a certain moment around 7 years ago that I even decided, okay, I want to let go of all of this. I literally sat in this park, walked around, sat on benches for over a year, just letting go of everything. And in that year, beautiful states arose, even things I would refer to as something beyond a state, where the center that was felt here, that gave rise to I am and I am here and this is the outside world, it simply dropped away. And in those instances, the entire concept of self started to break down. But there was still, I realized, something similar going on to what happened in those first decades of my life where I was trying to seek for happiness in outside things. The thought was there that this what is happening now isn't as good as it could be. That something different was better. And it was not too long ago that a good friend of mine, she asked me, do you experience still this seeking behavior? And for her, the entire process of first glimpse to liberation occurred in a very fast time, in a year, where for me it was very gradual. And I answered her, it's like, I don't feel this seeking energy anymore. Even the concept of enlightenment or liberation is, I don't really care actually anymore. It's all good now. And funnily enough, it was a few days after that where I was doing a training in kundalini energy awakening. A good friend of mine, Nadia, teaches this, and I had one day there, and I felt during that day that some tensions that were still held in the body were let go of. And that night, the first night of that training, I woke up in the middle of the night. No, actually before I went to bed, I realized I thought about that conversation I had with my other friend who asked, is there still a seeking energy? And just before I went to bed, I came to the thought like, hey, those moments where the self fell away, that this contraction totally was gone, I still value that just a little bit more than the other moments where the contraction is there. And it was like, okay, that's interesting. So it's still something there. And then I went to bed, and in the middle of the night, around 3 o'clock, I woke up, and for 45 minutes, I was laughing hysterically. And it was absolutely clear that there is no difference between those moments where there seems to be a contraction, there seems to be a person, and those moments when it falls away. It is all one dance of being. It's all made out of the same element, which is, in essence, what you are, what I am, what this is. So the last element of seeking fell away. And it's also the first element, because from a young age we are learned to seek for something better. And ever since the situation which I find myself in is not resisted anymore. It's all one beautiful unfolding, one dance of being, as I used to refer to it. So funnily enough, the last hurdle to enlightenment is to even let go of the spiritual seeking. The seeking for a state, the seeking for enlightenment, the seeking for liberation. Because it is that seeking behavior that is preventing you from experiencing and living it fully. So when this seeking energy drops, and for me it was very gradual, and for some people it can be quite sudden, it shows that you and life are not different. It is just one beautiful experiencing of one, what you could call one fully immersive experiencing of life.